Elon had his kid with him in the Oval Office in a joint press conference with Donald Trump, and it was flat out wholesome. Can't think of a better word to describe it. Here are two dedicated fathers who, by all accounts, are raising well-adjusted and happy kids, telling reporters our government has been writing blank checks for years, and they plan to stop it. There was no drama, no word salads, and plenty of practical information on what Elon's team has been finding. I just love seeing dads bring their kids to the office. When parents are allowed to have their kids around them at work, the kids learn, there's more quality time, and even if it's slightly distracting, like Elon's kids poking his fingers in his ears, it's endearing, and it's really an important image for the world to see when fathers take care of their kids and fathers are involved with especially their sons, their boys. Trump did the same thing, as you might know. He famously talks about growing his businesses while he grew his family and always bringing his kids in to meetings with him so that they could learn the business, learn from their dad, and of course, help make them successful further in their life. Going to school is one thing, but then watching your successful father perform and express their talent and win, not only is going to improve your relationship, but it's going to teach your kids quite a few things that they would never learn in school. So I just thought it was really fantastic to see Elon with his little 3, 4, 5-year-old, Donald Trump kind of acting like the old grandpa, just watching the kid play with stuff on his desk. It was great. DOGE's mission is to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse by bringing care and competence to the Treasury, State Department, Pentagon, and the IRS. And that is just their early vision based on what they've uncovered in a few weeks. I think there's a lot more to come. There's a lot of other departments that are probably going to get their attention. And all I can say is I hope that they will continue this strategy of following the money. If you think about it, every time you're trying to find a problem in a business process or an opportunity for your end customer, generally speaking, what you're trying to do is either make money or save money. And if you follow where the money is going or where it's coming from, you can learn a lot about how to make things better overall. And I think by following the money, Elon and Trump are going to learn a lot that they didn't know. Certainly the outcome and goal would be to save the taxpayers' money and to make the government more efficient, improve all of our lives, and hey, maybe actually improve the world overall. And while they do that, I think they're going to uncover a lot of things. It's that unknown unknown. There's things out there that they don't even know about that following the money is going to lead them to. And who knows what amazing things we could do or really corrupt situations we could fix once we learn more about where the money's going. With his son on his shoulders and wearing a baseball cap in the Oval Office, Elon's message made it clear. He's serious about his work and focuses on what is important. He told us about the 800 employees who manage the retirement program for federal workers, who are working out of an old MINESHAFT from the 1950s and using a paper-based record-keeping process that's probably just as antiquated. The image of a rickety dumbwaiter transferring retirement paperwork down the mine, and that being the bottleneck for their entire process, tells me everything I need to know about the bureaucrats leading that department. I think it's always the slowest part of your process that you want to focus on because it impacts everything else. This is very common in queuing theory. You're always going to look for the stage in your process that has the longest line. And that is where the backup is being created. And the longer that queue gets, the slower each item in that queue gets processed, which has an exponential effect downstream on how quickly things get done, or what you might call your throughput. So this is exactly what I was hoping would happen, is some process-oriented engineers would get involved, find the slowest thing and fix it. Now, a dumbwaiter being pulled by some old chain pulley isn't exactly what I thought was going to happen. And thinking about the idea of this, dumbwaiter breaking down and that shutting down the entire retirement process is kind of funny, but it's also super sad. There seems to be no urgency to prepare retirements because government offices rarely close once they open. And because federal workers keep their jobs for far longer and far beyond the point of them doing anything productive because they can't be fired. Why would they retire when they can keep their job watching paint dry until the last possible day to build up the largest possible pension that they can? What incentive is there for these people to grow? Why would they want to improve the outcome? Why would they want to set new goals and achieve them? Or maybe take the skills they've learned and earn more money in the private sector? What incentive is there for them to do that? If their jobs are not evaluated based on goals and they can stay forever regardless of performance, if their pay is pretty reasonable because the government can just print money, if the workload is pretty light, I'm not saying anybody's job is easy, but if these bureaucracies have 800 people in them, it would seem like they are growing every year, then your job ostensibly is not getting harder every year. So it's pretty much status quo when you come in on Monday morning. And if you can just continue to do that job without really thinking too much or pushing yourself, maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're making enough money and your mortgage payments are coming in on time and your house is eventually getting paid off. And, maybe you're putting your kids through college and you've got a lot of other benefits because it's the federal government. You're going to have a really solid, incredible benefits program. They're going to help you with a pension. You've got your retirement planned out. It's a pretty sweet gig. I know quite a few people in government who would say they would never leave for the private sector after 5 or 10 years because they've already moved so much closer to that pension, that retirement, that there's just nothing comparable out there on the open market. So if that's the foundation, that's the layout with which these employees are joining, what reason would they have to leave or change anything or shake it up? With such a low volume of workers churning out, the retirement program doesn't need high throughput capacity. They don't need modern business operations or even a single process that could maybe be moved over to be managed with software. They scale up to support the ever-growing federal government by growing their own workforce and buying another filing cabinet. Do you think there's a better way to handle this retirement process? Why do you think this inefficient department has gone this long without modernizing? And why haven't any of these employees ever gone to the press about this waste? I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. See you in the next one.